Episode 614. Susan here.
Sarah here.
How are you?
Real professional, Susan.
How are you?
Susan for a bruisin'. I'm real good, Susie, because I successfully made a sponge cake the other day. So
I heard good things.
Pretty much.
What is the difference between a
I'm
sponge
ready
cake?
for Great British Baking Show.
What is the difference between a sponge cake and a normal cake?
So a sponge cake does not use a rising agent. It doesn't use baking soda or baking powder. It uses aerated or whipped eggs.
Yeah.
And you separate the egg whites and the egg yolks.
So like an angel food cake would be a sponge cake.
Correct.
Yeah, those are good.
They're the frickin' best.
Because they're light, too. You could really eat a lot.
I was so shocked with this. 3 tablespoons of butter in the whole cake. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah,
I put more than that on my popcorn.
Right. Good point.
This thing was delicious. I was like, there's zero chance I'm making this well.
Why did you say it was complicated, though, on your Insta story? Like, what's complicated?
Because you have to separate the egg yolks and the egg whites, whip those up, and to get a specific consistency. So the egg yolks have to make a ribbon. Egg yolk and sugar together have to make like a ribbon when you hold it up. You know when you watch Great British Baking Show and they're like, oh, we're looking for like a ribbon when it goes like
well, I know when they say like stiff peaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I needed to have soft peaks.
Right. And I'm always like, well, what do you mean?
Right. Correct. And then I was like, then they said a fluted tube pan. And I was like, what the fuck is a fluted tube pan? Turns out I have 2 of those. So we're good. But.
Right.
Right. So that was, but the part that's really tricky is everything is separate. So you have like 4 different ingredient bowls, and then you have to fold stuff into stuff while keeping the egg yolks and the egg whites from collapsing. And so you have to keep them fluffy and aerated. And I was like, there's zero, this is coming out flat. I saw it on Great British Baking Show.
Yeah, right.
I saw it flat.
Right.
So I'm like, if they can't do this,
no
chance your girl's going to be able to do this. But when you get the request, you do what you do.
Do you own the Joy of Cooking cookbook, or is this online?
I own it.
That you?
I own it. Oh, yeah. That my mom gave that to me when I moved in my very first apartment.
Yeah, that's a good gift.
That's a great, if anybody, you know what? I need to like just revisit that as like a nice housewarming gift because some people just don't own it, right?
Right.
Does anybody not own that? Do you own it?
I own it, but I think that most people look online, I think, for recipes now rather than.
But like,
I love a cookbook.
Instructions.
Though. Yeah.
When you need, they had it was a high altitude baking recipe too.
Well, that
I had to change. You have to change it if you're between, and it was one recipe from 5,000 to 7,000 feet, and then another from 7,000 to 10,000.
This is why I don't bake. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's why I do. I'm like,
I have to think about my elevation. No,
correct. I had to Google my elevation.
That's ridiculous. Count me out. But I'm glad it turned out well.
Yeah, it was great. So I'm going to probably bring that next time I come see you. I'm going to be like, I'm coming in with the sponge cake.
Light and delightful. She's here.
Yes, just like you.
That's so exciting. I love when a plan comes together.
Me too.
We didn't talk about the Not So Pretty documentary series, which I assume you watched, even though like I have no idea if you did. About like the makeup industry and like how the like this was on HBO Max, and like I watched I watched the whole thing, but like it was real boring. But it is disturbing, you know, because they were talking about all the products, the makeup and hair products and stuff, and how it's all filled with like fucking asbestos and stuff.
It's so bad.
It's so bad, and I just want to know why they don't regulate it. Your skin absorbs stuff. We know this. Hello,
you
nicotine
make me want to
patch.
wash my face right now.
Like, if you have one of those apps, I think mine's called, like, what is mine called? The app?
Oh, yes, I do have, I even have it.
Mine's called...
And you scan and you find out what kind of chemical, and they rate it by, like, green, yellow, or red. Oh, yeah. I have this thing. What the heck is that called?
Mine is called Think Dirty, but there's a bunch of them.
Yes, that's the one I have.
But, like... I don't know what the...
using that because it terrified me.
Well, because everything is dirty.
Correct. Even the clean products. So it's like...
The thing that I learned, though, from it was
you
that...
make your own.
You know how pretty much every beauty product or makeup item has talc in it? Even things that aren't powder have talc.
You got to get rid of that.
And we all know about like the Johnson & Johnson baby powder thing, but that was sort of like the foundation of that episode. But what I did not know was that what makes talc a problem is that it's a mineral found in the world, and when you mine for it, it exists only next to asbestos.
Stop it!
Yes, like they just go together. And so you cannot get talc without asbestos.
Well, and let me tell you.
I know.
I didn't know this, but I knew that was bad. And I went on like I'm getting rid of all my makeup and only put in stuff that's good on my skin or maybe nothing kind of like kick.
Yes.
And so I had to hunt. The hardest thing for me to find was a setting, because what happens is you lose the lastability of a lot of these products when you go more natural.
Okay.
So I was like, why is my face melting off 2 hours after I put it on? Yes. So I was like, oh, you need a setting powder. So I went on a mission to find one without talc. I found one. It was really hard to do.
Yeah.
And I think I found it on Amazon or something. But then still, I'm like, I don't fucking know what's in it.
Right.
Who knows? It's still question mark.
Yeah.
So,
you have
but
to
that was one that I remember going on a whole hunt for, and I was very disappointed in. Yeah, you remembered this.
That's the thing. I mean, the reason why we all use the toxic stuff is because it's effective.
Right.
But then we all die.
Right.
You know. But they did say, like, the alternative is cornstarch, so you're supposed to look for stuff with cornstarch. I mean, tell me where that is, people.
On your fucking grocery store counter. I used to put cornstarch in my swim cap.
But they mean as an ingredient in the makeup. Like, instead of talc. Yeah, you're like, forget that. We're not. No, that's impossible. No.
Right. And you know why? Because those products are expensive, too. And then they don't do that because, and mineral oil, fuck that shit.
What's wrong with that?
I just saw a video it was like an in-person demonstration where they put like a cracker, they put mineral oil on top of water, and then they put a cracker in the water, and the cracker couldn't even. It never got the water. It never
absorbed water.
Absorbed water. Yes, thank you. And when I saw it, and they're like, yeah, this is what it does when it sits on the surface of your skin. And I was
that's what I always wonder,
that's clogging my pores is terrible.
Because all these homeopathic voodoo doctors will be they'll put a nail in a can of Coke and be like, this is what happens because the nail disintegrates. But that's chemistry. So my body isn't made of metal. So
right.
I don't always know if those things are
that bloodworm's body is.
Right. I don't have any.
The guy needs to stay away from Diet Coke.
Right.
Oh, gosh. That would be Susie's nightmare. She gets reincarnated as a bloodworm, and she can't drink Diet Coke because she's made of metal parts.
Listen, I'm not pounding Diet Coke, but I do love it as a treat, I will say. As a treat.
It's a treat, right.
But one really disturbing thing that they said was how Johnson & Johnson knew about all this talc stuff and kept, just here, use this baby powder. They didn't even care. And not
baby powder. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're putting it on our babies. And not only that, but they showed the marketing plans that they found in the trial, and they were purposefully doing it to Black and brown communities. They were how can we get Black and brown people to use this shit, because the white people can afford better health care, so we don't care. We can't trick them. So we got to trick these people. That's what they did.
Yeah, that does not surprise me because we do fucked up shit because we're awful.
Yeah, everybody's awful. Everything's stupid.
The worst. That is so messed up.
I'll tell you what's not toxic.
What happened, though? What? Tell me.
People died, Sarah. But I'll tell you what won't make you die. Daily Harvest.
Oh, not at all. In fact, just the opposite.
Opposite of death.
Daily Harvest. These smoothies.
Really good. Peg stole all mine, Peg Meister, because you know how she is.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Peg Meister stole all mine, so I have to re-up. But they have fresh, organic ingredients that come to your door, and it's
fresh.
You don't have to make it.
No.
It's just ready.
Do you know how to press the on button on your blender?
Yeah.
Do you know how to preheat
Turn
your
on
oven?
your oven? Yes. They have flatbreads, soups. They have like harvest bowls.
Yes.
Very satisfying and delicious. And then, of course, the smoothies.
They're my favorite.
Peg is obsessed, and I am too, but I am not as much of a sweet person, with they have
the
like
bites?
the chocolate frozen treats. I mean, it's basically
the
like
bites.
ice cream, but they don't call it that.
Oh,
There's no
no,
bite about it. What are you talking
No,
about?
I didn't
bites?
get that. I haven't tried that.
Oh,
Ice cream?
It's like a pint of ice cream, but they don't call it ice cream. It's like a frozen treat. And it's chocolate, but then there's weirdly like avocado in there, and you're like, how are you doing this?
Oh, healthy.
It's
Love
healthy,
that.
but it doesn't taste healthy.
Well, I'm a big fan of the frozen banana bites that are little like
I
chocolate.
don't know the bites.
Okay, I'm telling you, that's where it's at. They're like these little packed protein. You know when you just want like,
yeah.
Yep, you need like a little quick afternoon. Mm-hmm. I need a little pick me up. I go with a little protein bite, and you can eat them right out of the freezer.
Yeah. Nosh.
Love it. Yes.
Avoid the takeout temptation and get Daily Harvest. Go to dailyharvest.com/braincandy to get up to $40 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/braincandy for up to $40 off your first box. dailyharvest.com/braincandy. Really yummy, I wouldn't lie. Okay, so anyway, the beauty thing, kind of a downer, a little bit boring, but I was informative. I mean,
not boring.
It's called
Well,
not so,
I
it
bet
was
the show was
boring.
boring. Got it. I was like, this
Yeah.
topic isn't boring. I'm all revved up.
Yeah. I was reading about the oldest woman in the world died recently. The lady in Japan.
R.I.P. Yes.
Oh, I thought you were saying her name. Yeah,
No.
R.I.P. to the oldest lady. I remember when I was younger, but like young enough to, or old enough to know better, and I still was confused when like the oldest person would die, and I'd be like, that can't be because that person just died, like not realizing that then there'd be a new oldest person. But anyway.
That's really funny. I love it.
She died at the ripe old age of 119.
Yes.
And like usually these stories are pretty predictable. Like journalists go in there and they're like, "What's your secret?" And then they're like, "Whiskey." And then it's just like cute or whatever.
I love it.
But
like, chocolate.
Sex every day.
Yep.
And it's
and
fun.
I'm like, and
but
that's
like
going in the next podcast.
right,
Yes.
but like I genuinely want to know the secret, but there probably isn't one. And it's probably like a recipe of like good genes and blah blah blah.
Or
anyway,
just whiskey and chocolate.
or I should just listen and it's sex, whiskey, and chocolate.
Yeah. Duh.
But what was interesting was just like in New York Times, they were mapping out like just how her life went. Mm-hmm. And it really struck me how freaking old she really was, because it was like in the 1940s, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
What?
Are you kidding me?
Stop it.
I
Are
mean,
you serious?
Isn't that typically like real bad news?
Lights out. Like
it's not good. So
like nobody thinks that nobody's like, "Oh, I'm having a
that's a good
midlife
one.
crisis." Yeah, after they like
right. I mean, you sort of are like resigned to, okay, well, I know what's going to happen. Okay, so in the 1940s, this lady got pancreatic cancer. I don't know
1940s.
what happened, but I guess she beat that. And then she has kids, gets married. Eventually, later, in like 40 years later, she gets colon cancer, beats that.
What?
Yeah.
It's probably all that whiskey and chocolate.
She didn't. Oh, she loved fizzy drinks. She loved Coke. And
Okay.
something that they have in Japan that's like an orange fizzy drink.
Yeah.
She was really
Fanta.
into that. Yeah, like the Japanese equivalent. And then it was saying, you know, she outlived all her kids, which that is...
She outlived all her kids. God, that actually feels like more of a curse than a...
You know
I
what,
would be
Sarah?
like, meh, just kind of take me.
Truly.
My grandma started saying that towards her ending days. I mean, she died on the morning of her 99th birthday. So
yeah.
she was like, I've watched 2 husbands die. Mm-hmm. I've like outlived all my friends.
Yeah. And I
If you
think...
ask me, her girlfriends.
I thought this about Betty White, too, where everybody says they want to live to 100 or whatever, they want to live to be an old age, But I don't think we consider that you have to say goodbye to everyone.
Everyone.
And how painful that could be. And how lonely you'd end up. Not only did she have to say goodbye to her kids and her husband, but every single person that was born before her was already dead.
Correct.
I don't want to make new friends. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you would have to start.
You'd have to. I mean, she had grandkids, but...
Oh, but like...
Right, you can't relate. They're doing TikTok. She doesn't...
Oh, my God.
Like, that's so
She's like, what? What about them clocks?
And so the one that really got me was her husband passed away in 1990 at the age of 90, and so was she.
Wow.
So, like, you're thinking,
wow.
like, I'm going to be gone soon, too. And then you have to stick around for 30 more years?
Yeah, you could have gotten married and had a whole other life.
Isn't that unreal that she was 90, too? Because to me, that sounds like so long ago.
Wow. 1990.
1990.
Shit, man. That is a long time ago.
And she's like this old 90-year-old lady saying goodbye at the funeral. Like, she's probably like...
And then she got to wait another 30 years.
It's a bizarre thing. Yeah, that really struck me.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm thinking about... Don't you feel like every single year you're on this planet, the years get shorter and shorter?
Yes, I read an article that explained that.
Okay.
Would you like to hear it?
I would love to. Because I feel like that bitch's day is...
That bitch's... Oh, right. Like
goes by in the blink of an eye.
Another one. I just
right,
was
so
118 a minute ago.
Correct. Right. Tell
me. It was saying that when you're, let's say you're 1 year old.
Yeah.
And then you live another year, that you've doubled your length. So, like, the percentage of your life.
Yes.
And so the older you get, the smaller that each year is a percentage of your life.
Yes. Yes.
And that is what creates the feeling that it's passing quicker.
I mean, think about it. 119, what that would feel like.
I can't.
It would be crazy. Time is an illusion.
And she even said when she was interviewed, someone's like, how long do you think you'll live? And she was like, I really don't think I'm going to die. Like, I think you probably do start feeling that way. Like, I guess I just am here.
Like, I don't know. I might be sticking around for forever.
I remember when I asked you, like, how long you thought you would live or something, and I forget your exact answer, but it was sort of like, I feel like everything past 70 is just gravy. Like a bonus.
Extra innings.
Yes. Do you still feel that way?
I do think I'm going to live a really fucking long time, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I have this feeling. I mean, I've been careful, but I have this feeling that... Because you always freak me out when you say... I don't like how you talk about, like...
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah, I hate it. My mom says that, too. She's like, I'm not going to be around. I'm like, stop. We got in a big fight over that when she was like, well, I'm not going to be around much longer. I'm like, let me tell you how that sounds. There's either two things that happen when you're only 65 and you say, I'm not going to be around much longer. You either attempt to take your own life and you are the cause, or something terrible has happened to you. Woman who just fell off of a building.
Okay. So do you think that can be more of like...
I got so mad at her. She was like, who cares?
Do you think that's more of a self-fulfilling prophecy type deal? Or do you think it's like she really is psychic and she just knows that? Or both? Or neither? Or
neither.
I don't know.
Nothing.
Well, what is the motivation to say it then? Do you think it's like to
friggin' wind me up?
Oh, so you don't think it's sort of like to soften the blow of mortality and just act like...
That's maybe her argument. Does it, though?
I don't
it sound
know.
like it does it? Am I wrong in this?
I forget
Am
who
I
it
the
was.
asshole?
I think it was Kevin Hart, but it might have been someone else. But they said that their mom or their grandma would always say, I'm not long for this world. Like, they would sort of be like, I'm not going to make it till Christmas. And, like, maybe
so
it's
my grandma would do.
Yeah, maybe it's a defense mechanism kind of
I
thing.
think so.
Yeah.
My grandma used to say at every big event, she'd be like, well, I'm not going to be around much longer. And so,
Maybe it's like
we gotta
to get
spend
people,
time together.
Yeah, right.
Yes, because
It's
I'm
like
not going to be around. She said that since I was in junior high. She started saying that.
It's like emotional
I
manipulation.
got married at 32, and she was
on her way
fuck
out.
old no, I didn't. How old was I when I?
Yeah, how old were you?
21, 22. How long was 7 years ago? I was 28.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I was
Is
a
that
child
true?
bride.
A child bride, Sarah. It probably does feel like that now.
It does. I'm like, who allowed me to do that?
That's really funny.
Oh God, make myself laugh.
All right. This one's weird. I don't even know what I'm talking about when I say it. Okay. Well, first,
I'll buy it.
I'll go on. I'll actually take a moment to talk about those friggin' Coterie diapers. Which,
oh, yeah.
Did you try the wipes?
Oh, no, I still have it in a box because I was thinking maybe we could do a little contest and like a lucky person who has some babies and maybe some butts. But now I want to maybe steal the wipes.
Well, right, because the wipes are in there, and I was like, oh,
I got a bum that needs wiping sometimes.
Even the wipes are great, and so I know the diapers are great.
Yes.
But basically, anything that even potentially can help your baby sleep through the night, I say give it a whirl. Because that is what, rumor has it, they might be able to help you with, because they're so comfortable and absorbent that then baby can sleep longer, then you sleep longer, then everybody's happy. Up to 2 times more liquid capacity and up to 4 times faster moisture wicking. That's why.
Ooh.
So that sounds very promising to me. And I wish I could have used these babies when I had a babies. But anyway, they seem amazing. I've heard wonderful things. Right now, Coterie is partnering with our podcast to offer you 20% off your first order plus free shipping at coterie.com/braincandy. That's Coterie spelled COTERIE.com/braincandy for 20% off and free shipping. Coterie.com/braincandy. I'm always glad when there's new technological advancements in the world of that.
Yeah,
I wish that
moms.
I always want the dentistry industry to, like, why is there no advancements in that field ever? Like, you go in there and it's like those loud motors on the, like,
you know what? I went to a dentist's office recently. I can't remember where this was in.
Don't
Rancho
say it.
Santa Margarita.
I thought you were going to say Costa Rica.
No. It was not Costa Rica. They're still using the old stuff. And I had that experience where I was like...
Was it silent, though, like an electric car?
Yeah, a lot of things... No, not like that. But everything was different. And I was like, this isn't like it used to be. This isn't like it used... Like the suction thing, I remember being quite lovely. Like,
well,
I want to say, like,
good.
hooked onto my mouth, or like I didn't have the drool situation. I can't remember.
Okay,
but
I'll
I was
take
like,
that.
They seem to have made some advances. Just this office, nowhere else, and nowhere Susie's going, apparently.
I mean, that's nice and everything, but the real thing that everyone hates is, like, the sound of the drill or whatever. It's and I did a tweet where I was like, why can't we apply the electric car technology to dentistry equipment?
Yeah,
Silence. Silence is golden, dentists. Anyway, think it over.
Why couldn't we do that with everything?
Like, what
sound
else would
pollution
you do?
is like a real thing.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And you're very sensitive. You're a highly sensitive person, so that would make sense that you don't like that.
Well, and that noise sounds like pain. I mean, that's what...
Does it, though? I see, you saying all these things, but it doesn't bother me.
What? Pain?
And no, well, that's debatable. But the sound that the dentist things make. I've never once been like, oh, yeah, I bet you're right. Yeah, that noise... absolutely sounds
soothing.
like I'm in a horror film.
Yeah, like it's not going to lull you into a state of...
Right.
Yeah. So just,
Yeah.
maybe work on that, you guys.
Maybe work on that. Also, I saw a tweet the other day that was like somebody saying, I'm a dentist. I went to dental school. All my friends are dentists. Nobody's ever asked us our opinion on toothpaste.
Yeah. Who are these dentists? It's like the same 4.
Yeah.
They like...
Maybe we should get a new panel.
Yeah, right. We have questions.
Yeah.
Dental industry. Okay. On the show, I may have already talked about this, but it's still funny to me. So I read another article about it. And if I have, just bear with me because it's funny. Did we talk about the guy who had mined Bitcoin like a gazillion years ago? And then he accidentally threw away the hard drive.
Yeah, I feel like I don't remember the details of this.
So this bozo in England...
And did he search the trash for this?
He wanted to.
Okay.
Okay, so I have more details on the story. So the story is this guy mined Bitcoin before it was like cool. And
I hate that, even that term mined Bitcoin. Like they're out in little like with little pickaxes, like, you know, hi ho.
yeah, who
hi-ho.
picked that terminology?
Who did? Because it really fucked with how I.
Your perception.
Yes.
Why? What did you think?
I still don't know what mining Bitcoin looks like in action. So in my mind, I only see the 7 dwarfs. Who I believe were miners. Am I correct?
I think there was mining involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seemed like it. I mean, where the fuck work were they going?
Yeah, enough with the whistling. Where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going? Where's work?
So he, his computer mines it and it just runs. And it's bad for the environment because it requires all this fiber optic blah, blah, blah. Something about the I don't even know what I'm talking about, but it is bad for the environment. I do know that. Okay, so he did that. And then it was on this hard drive.
Susie and Sarah
explain nothing. It was on his hard drive. And then he was doing spring cleaning and he accidentally put it in the garbage. And then...
Who puts an entire hard drive in the fucking garbage?
Well, that's true. That's very irresponsible. Even if it was meant for the trash, you got to...
What if he... What if he just read Sparking Joy and was like, this does not spark joy. He was like Marie Kondoing his house, got too caught up in the moment. It didn't spark joy. And he was like, oh shit, it sparked joy, it sparked joy.
Right, for real, because it's a kind of what happened. He mistook it for another one, threw it away. And then
That's it.
He asked his wife to take out the trash the next morning. And she was like, that's your job, you fucking do it. So then... he remembers that he chose the wrong one. So he's like, okay, well, in the morning, I'll get it out. And then she felt bad. So she did take the trash out.
You know she's never going to hear.
Well, they're divorced now.
Oh, my God.
This is what I love because I didn't know
I
these
wish that I were
before.
their therapist. Then
what
I
would
could
you
be
say?
Like, I just would want to ask them what percentage of this is...
Yeah.
related to that.
They did ask her, and she was like, it's not about the Bitcoin, it's other stuff. But I'm sure it's like symbolic.
No, yeah.
Where he's like resentful of her about his own dumbass.
The Bitcoin is surface level. There's something deeper.
Yes. And so maybe it was a straw that broke the camel's back type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So then she sends it off, and then he's like kind of upset, but at that point it wasn't as valuable. And then as the value increased, he like gets panicked. And this is only when it was worth like a million or whatever.
Oh my God. Only $1 million.
Okay. So
I'm still fuming about that $60 I lost in Vegas.
Right? Honestly, when
mad.
I was like 12, I lost $40, and I think about it still, as what you're saying.
Isn't it funny that we think, I'm like, fucking so stupid I did that. So dumb.
That, to me, shows how potent regret can be.
It's the worst.
Because you just want to go back and redo whatever it was.
Yep. Yep.
I'm sure that he's tortured by all this. But, okay, so eventually he finds out that the way that garbage dumps work, it kind of seems like it's just like a free-for-all, like big pile of garbage. But they actually do section it and like it's organized trash. And so they would probably be able to find it relatively quickly because they know the date that it was picked up and like where the trash is. So he contacts a city and he's like, yo, I got this problem. And they were like, yeah, we're not doing that. And meanwhile, the value just keeps increasing.
I would have absolutely been like, look I will give you a cut of this.
He did. He offered them billions of dollars because now it's worth $500 billion.
Oh my God.
Can you believe it?
No. You know what? That might be actually, you know what? They should get divorced because I'm freaking out. Like, how could you be a normal person after you've lost $500 billion?
Right. He would have
That's
more
not even
money.
a real fucking number. What even is that? Jeff Bezos is like,
yeah,
impressed.
Honestly, it is like I can imagine. You could really go crazy.
No, you would go crazy. You would go crazy.
But he's not
What
doing.
the fuck?
He's not doing the things that you ought to do if you don't want to go crazy. Because he like has a tracker on his phone, and he'll check it like several times a day to see how much it's worth now.
Oh,
I mean, sorry, dude, you got to let it go because they are not letting him get it. I mean, that's the end of the story. They will not let him get it.
They won't let him go get it.
No.
Why not? That feels like weird that you.
I agree, and he kind of
can't.
feels like that too. He's like, I could have solved this whole town's problems with that money. But
I mean, why can't... So, okay, this is interesting. When you choose to throw something away, you are relinquishing your rights to the property.
That's why
Then-
people are allowed to do garbage picking. Because it's not yours anymore. You're saying, I'm giving it away.
I'm giving it away.
Yeah.
Then so I wonder if there's something in the contract that you sign with the trash collecting, like when you pay for trash, that you are signing
waiving
that
your rates or something.
That they now own the rights. Dude, somebody's fucking looking for that. It just ain't this. It ain't him.
Do you think? Well, they certainly could.
Yeah, I think. You think?
Although,
please, Susie, do you remember that treasure? Do you remember the treasure hunt that people went on because of that poets stuff?
okay, but
You think $500 billion isn't going to be like?
here's the difference. He has the pin, so nobody else could get it.
This is just a House of Cards episode waiting to happen.
And it's one of those things where, like,
Somebody's going to get kidnapped.
It's
He's
weird.
going to lose at least 2 fingernails for not giving away the number soon enough.
It's weird that this Bitcoin, which is, not real, it's not a
It's
tangible
so
thing.
silly. Yeah.
You still need something tangible to access it. In this case, your hard drive, and then also a pin.
Yeah.
And that there is no way to recover it if you do not. There is no way. It can't be done.
This kind of feels like whoever invented Bitcoin took the same model that parking structures are used when you lose the ticket.
Right.
Full price, we're charging you
There's
they
no
don't
way.
care. There's no way.
That is so true because they have cameras. They know when you got there.
right.
You're so right.
And they're like, nope, full price. That it doesn't
like
matter. It's like, oh,
gift
you lose that.
cards.
Sorry, no way. You don't own anything anymore. Doesn't even matter. You get no money.
Yeah, like how gift cards are like, it's like cash. Is it though?
Yeah, right. You lose it. Sorry, forever. Nope.
That is a very good point. We are being bamboozled.
100%. You know how much? I don't know the actual number, obviously, because who would? But it's a fuck ton. How much we throw away in gift cards a year?
Oh my God.
I think that might be in the billions.
We should have a brain candy gift card. Why are we cashing in on this?
This is why people think you're the evil ones.
Right, because you're upset about it, and I'm like, how can I take advantage of this?
Susie's like, mwah.
Do people say that to you, that I'm the evil one?
No, I
would
was
believe
just playing off of our what you had said, and it wasn't even evil. That you're the one that's
it. Yeah.
You said mean, but I feel like mean is like a meaner word than evil. Evil shows some sort of plot.
Yeah, like genius.
Mean is just you're a jerk.
That is right. You're just an asshole. You might be stupid, but at least
Yeah.
evil
But if you're
implies
evil,
that you
you're a
know.
genius.
Yeah, right. God. That
This
happens
is
to
making
me
me
all the
laugh.
time. It might even be true with you historically, where like when people get mad at me, like of course I don't like it and I get mad back, but I kind of understand it. But when people get mad at my friends who are like super nice, I'm like, now that is
Yes.
intolerable.
You are definitely like this. You're like this every time I break up or end a relationship.
Yeah.
You're like, what is actually wrong with them?
Yeah, I'm like, how could he be mad? I don't understand.
Right.
I really don't because,
Well, I never do.
and I
either.
always say this about you. Everyone has flaws, but Sarah is never, ever intentionally mean. Ever.
Correct.
Not one
Never.
time.
Have I ever been intentionally mean?
No. The worst thing you've done, and we've talked about it, is laughing when I'm mean or someone else is mean.
Yes.
Where
I
you
do
like get that it's funny.
Guilty by association.
Yeah. Anyway, so.
But here's the deal. If you were a dog who went and to the pound or wherever, and you just hung out with a group of dogs and they had fleas and then you got fleas, you couldn't be like, oh, no, I don't have fleas. You have fleas.
Oh, okay.
This is a you hang around with dogs to get fleas story.
So you feel like it's a fair thing for someone to be mad at
Yeah.
you, even if it's just for that?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I disagree with you about that.
Because when I watched back the videos of me laughing, I don't feel good about it.
Do you believe that laughter is controllable? Is that what you're saying?
Ooh. Actually, excellent point. You're right that I was using it as a coping mechanism, not actually laughing because it was funny in those situations because I wasn't able. Correct.
Because there have been plenty of times where even if I wanted to, and I was like interviewing the president, if something strikes my funny bone, it's over. Like I cannot not laugh.
I cannot not laugh. Well, that's why you can never tell me to lie, or because that makes me laugh.
That is so
It makes
true.
me smile, and I'm like,
I've seen
like,
this. And it
you're
is funny.
definitely lying. It could be about something really fucking serious, and then I'll start smiling because I get nervous. And when I get, that's my tell. Don't ask me to lie. I will smile and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck! I had something that I was going to tell you that I had a recent experience. Anyway, it slipped my mind, but
It'll come back.
'cause this is
to
what
you.
happens when we go on tangents. Yeah.
Quick question. Why is it
Yeah.
pronounced bicycle, but then it's pronounced motorcycle? Why don't we call
What
it a
are
bicycle?
you saying different?
Why bicycle, like icicle,
Bicycle.
and then motorcycle? Why?
It should be called because it would be ridiculous
motorcycle?
to say bicycle.
Or motorcycle? They're both stupid. Why are they different?
Why is that so funny to me? Now you tickle my funny bone. Both of those words in reverse are hilarious.
Let's switch them from now on.
Bicycle,
Bicycle.
which sounds just like something you ride a little bit in college.
That's hilarious. Guys, we're sober. That's just weird.
Totally as a judge.
Right.
Oh my
yes.
god, I'm crying.
Or-
That's so funny to me. I'm so glad that that thought popped in your mind and you shared that little thing with me. Oh my god, I'm gonna laugh about that so
Motorcycle.
uncontrollably for the next week.
Okay, let's say we had to pick
And
one.
motorcycle, adorable popsicle.
Okay, so maybe that's the one we should choose, like bicycle, motorcycle. It's so stupid. I don't know.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Oh my god, this is the fucking best. Next time you see a guy who would be the kind of guy who would rev his bike,
I'm getting hot.
I want you to be like, nice motorcycle.
Oh my god.
Be like, tell me about your
Adam's
motorcycle.
gonna end up like in
and
a
then
fist
he's gonna
fight.
be like, that's not how you say that. And then keep saying it. And you're like, yeah, like bicycle, motorcycle. Just see what happens. You know, it's like when people said, oh God, what was it? It was so funny. Like, I think this was a tweet I read once or it's something like that. where somebody said, you really want to piss off guys. Oh my God, look, I'm like crying. I'm so hard. My mascara is running. And this is good shit too. That never runs. To call it, Throne Games instead of Game of Thrones. Be like, tell me what's going on in Throne Games.
That's a good one.
And then they'll just get so mad. So this feels like that. Oh my gosh, what? I need to collect myself.
Now that I'm thinking about it, if you know how motorcycle people call themselves bikers, it's probably because they don't want to say they're cyclists. Because bicyclists say I'm a cyclist.
It doesn't make sense.
We should call them cyclists and cyclists then, not bikers. Just think about it. This is gonna end up being like a lost episode, and tomorrow I'm gonna be like, we're gonna need to do another
one that there ever was. We're gonna save star.
Okay, that's awful. I have nothing else about that.
Funny.
I just wanted to know why. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, changing the subject. Oh, I wanted to know what you think about ladies that name their kid after them, like a junior.
I saw this article. Where was this?
This was the Atlantic.
Yes.
And I had also just recently watched Lucy and Desi on Amazon Prime, which I highly recommend. Great documentary about Lucy and Desi Arnaz. And Lucy's daughter is named Lucille, or Lucy also.
Well, technically,
yeah,
I'm a junior.
What?
Sally in Italian.
Again, with the breadcrumbs.
Right. Right. So
Sarah Jr.
So Sally in Italian is Sarah because Sally doesn't, it's salt in Italian. So they don't have that name. So it translates into Sarah. So Sally in Italian is Sarah. So my mom's name in Italian is my name.
Did she know that when she named you?
So when we go to Italy, she calls herself Sarah.
No.
And I would be,
When she named you, did she know this, or was this a happy surprise?
No, she knew this. Absolutely she knew this. She lived in Italy for 12 years, named Sally, calling herself Sarah.
Oh, that's really cool.
So
it's cool that it was on purpose, because like in my family, this makes no sense. I still don't understand it, but my mom's name is Margaret.
Oh, yep.
And Margaret is, I don't know what
Peggy.
Ethnicity. No, but my sister's name is Gretchen, and
what?
They're the same. I don't understand it. Like, Gretchen in German means Margaret in some other language, whatever that is.
Oh.
It's sort of like the same thing.
Obviously. I was like, Margaret, your mom's Peggy. Right.
Yeah. Right. Her Christian name.
It was on
her legal
accident?
Name. Yeah.
Is it by accident or on accident? By accident.
Yeah, what's the right one?
I don't know.
It was accidental.
It was
That's all I know. Yes, so weird. Okay, but are you into this?
What a crazy coincidence.
Did you like being a junior?
Well, I did get annoyed with it when we would go to
Italy.
Well, in Costa Rica, she calls herself Sarah too. And I'll be like,
what?
Sarita. Yeah. And so sometimes we go, I'm like, that's my name.
Why does she do that in Costa Rica?
Because the same thing. It translates to salt. And so people will be like,
right.
Sale, salt?
Right, because
like,
if you met
Sarah.
somebody and they call themselves Salty here, that would be weird.
And her last name is Rice.
Salty Rice.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow, that's bizarre.
Right.
Huh.
These are kind of like breadcrumbs. Who else has them? I mean...
Yeah, you're like, I am a junior.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Yeah, I'm Sarah Rice the Fourth. No, but
it makes sense, right?
The ladies that they interviewed for that article said how a lot of people balk at when they find out about it, and they see it as like this egomania, which I know that I felt when I found out Lucy's daughter is named Lucy, spelled differently.
I think it's kind of badass.
Well, now that I've thought about it, I'm like, why don't we think that when a man names his son that?
Honestly, after I thought about it,
yeah,
I feel like we should be doing that with all women.
Yeah.
Because we lose the last name.
Yeah, no matter what name you pick, your dad's or your husband.
Where did I just read? Some country, I think it might be Italy, oddly enough.
You have like a
so
disembodied
weird if
hand.
It's Italy.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does look like that. if you could see this if you're watching on Patreon. Some country just made it a law now that babies are born and given both their parents' surnames.
A certain country did this?
Yes.
That's great.
I think it's Italy. I read this morning.
It'd
be crazy
that.
if it were Italy, wouldn't it be? After.
It makes no sense how it all works out right now. We do need an overhaul.
Totally.
Yeah. I like it though, and I like the women that are doing it like specifically because people react that way, and then they're like, "Oh, do you feel that way when a man has a junior?" Because
right, it doesn't make any sense that it is Italy. Italian court rules that babies should get surnames from both parents.
I love this.
5 days ago, yeah.
I would not have expected it in Italy.
Me either.
Wonder what
I
happened.
would have never expected it in Italy. In a Catholic-dominated, like...
Yeah. Well, and they're kind of famous for, like, the machismo thing.
Yes.
That's where that word comes from. So, yeah, I'm excited. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be doing that anytime soon here. Things are not looking good for that.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started.
We'll just...
R.I.P. women's rights.
R.I.P. R.I.P. autonomy. Anyway.
Oh, my God. That's crazy to think that, like, that woman lived longer, like, outlived.
Oh, let's not think about that.
I know. Just, like, that, like...
I even said last night, I'm like, Sarah's probably going to want to talk about this, and I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it.
Just because it's horrific. Anyway, let's change the subject.
I remember when I asked my grandma what was the worst invention of your...
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, I said, what was the worst thing you've ever seen invented? Think about, what do you think she said?
TV.
No.
What?
We loved watching TV together.
She couldn't get enough of that. Boob tube. I don't know,
the credit
internet.
Card.
Oh.
She said the credit card was the worst invention she saw come in her time.
It's so smart of her to even think of it.
I know. And she was the one who taught me about money. That's why I'm a crazy money hoarder and act like I'm poor all the time. Because my grandma used to pay all of her bills, then take the rest of it and put it in cash and put it in an envelope and have everything like, this money goes to this money goes to this money goes to this.
Yeah.
And then after that, you don't use it for anything. And
after my mom had her fire, I'm like, do you want to maybe not do the envelope thing? Because that's not a great idea.
Right, please.
But
do you want to maybe not?
I just added to my Goodreads, the book is called Debt, A 500-Year History. And I'm interested.
That's the bad part. It's debt. Because she said she watched a lot of people's life get ruined with credit, and
you know what I love?
About that.
I always look up.
Credit cards.
There's this website. I think it's called Common Sense Reviews or something, but it's like movie reviews to see if it's appropriate for your kid to watch.
Oh, that's great!
I love it because it's so cool how they do it by category.
What do they say about Interstellar?
I should look it up. Oh my God.
No spoilers.
They have like categories. So it'll be like violence, sex, cursing. But I noticed they had a section for consumerism, which I love.
Wow. That's
great.
fantastic. That's really great.
And just that they would even be dialed into the fact that...
Like the movie Clueless.
Right.
That my mom told me I was not allowed to watch.
Yeah.
And I did not, and then I didn't understand, and now I get it.
The other thing I like about it is that the reviews are like what age parents say the movie is good for and what age kids say. So like kids will say like 8 and up, this is fine. And then the parents will be like 10 and up or whatever. Because they don't realize
this is a great website.
Yeah.
I just want to look at all the movies now.
Yeah, and I like it because it'll say like, romantic kissing, or like innuendo conversation, stuff like that. It's great.
Because there was one movie that I just recommended it to you and was like, oh, this would be a fun one to watch with you and Lincoln. And then I couldn't stop thinking about if there was anything inappropriate in it or anything that would be like, what the fuck was it? I can't remember. But I was like, oh yeah, this is family friendly.
I know a lot of my friends with kids are not fussy and just like watch shows that they want to watch in front of their kids.
My mom never cared.
Yeah. Except about
Because she worked in the industry too.
Wonder
Oh,
why
that was it. It's this for the same reason she let us say goddamn motherfucker, but we weren't allowed to call each other stupid.
Right.
Or no, we weren't allowed to say shut up.
She's probably onto something.
She for sure is. And that's why we were like, and alcohol wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. I'm more puritanical.
like,
it's weird. Like I just kind of like innocence as long as possible.
And you should hold on. That mine was already.
But
gone
I don't want to be.
before.
I don't want to make him feel like I did growing up, where like.
Oh, Susie, I think he celebrates Halloween. I think we're okay.
I've come a long way.
Come on, he's not going to any harvest parties.
Oh my God.
Fucking harvest party.
No wonder.
Sure. We all know what you're really celebrating.
Right. Okay. Anyway, moving on. What else? What am I talking about? I don't even know. Okay. When you were married or when you were living with your partner, what was your strategy for separation of chores? Like, you just did everything?
I wish you could see the face I'm making right now.
You were the default housekeeper always?
Yeah.
Were there certain jobs?
I was with somebody who traveled about 200 plus days for work. And when you do that, you get very used to living in a hotel where somebody cleans up after your stuff. So I think I became the default picker-upper of things, just like tidier. And he wasn't by any means messy, but we had a housekeeper. Didn't occur to him. He wasn't, he was always going to outsource cleaning.
Okay. What about when you lived with someone? Because that was different.
No,
when you guys were
totally. I hated that.
You
that
would default again?
Yeah, and then when I tried to bring it to attention, it was like, oh, we should make a list and then we should rotate. And I was like, that doesn't work because I'm doing all the stuff on the in between. I've already wiped this counter down 8 times. How many times? I would love to go back and ask, how many times did you clean? How many times did you mop the floor when we lived together for a year?
What would your guess be? 0?
0.
Oh my God.
When you lived, 0. Mm-hmm. These people are not messy though, but I am doing the cleaning.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The article that I read, it was also in the Atlantic. Shout out to the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Doing a great job, like making
shout out to Susie giving shout outs.
Right, I'm on a roll. Oh God. The article was about how scientists found a way that was better than sort of like he does this chore and I do that chore, where it's like designated things. They said that ended up being not fair for some reason, but the couples who managed eat all the chores jointly, everybody did everything, they were happier and more content. But the trouble is that they didn't, oh, there's my cat. The trouble is that they didn't, they couldn't tell the directionality of the causation. So it's like, do happier couples just tend to do that? Or does doing that make them happy?
Because there was one guy that I dated for a minute who, one of the things that I really was not a fan of was that they were very messy.
Yeah.
And first I wanted to, just untidy. And at first I wanted to give him a free pass because it was a dude. Then I stayed at my brother's house. I stayed at one brother's house, then the other brother's house. And they were so tidy. They cleaned up after themselves, and they just did things without needing to be asked.
I'm so sorry. I just re-laughed about the bicycle. How you said it was like something you try in college. I'm sorry. See, this is what I mean about how I can't control it.
It might be my best joke ever on here. I don't.
God, that was good.
I don't want to go ahead and label my own jokes, but that might be some of my
That's
best
really
work.
funny. Okay, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
don't know if it gets better than that.
So you noticed that your brothers did what?
So they just took the initiative, and they would clean without having to be asked. And that was something that I didn't notice in some of the people that I had as partners, the people I lived with. And so that was what made me think, nope, my brothers are the bar now for clean. Like, if they can do it, it's not just like a male-female thing. It's how are you taught to clean? What was like the model, which I realize is a privileged thing to say because but also maybe not.
Maybe not.
But, maybe not.
Yeah, what were the values that you grew up with
what were the values you grew up with?
Taking care of your stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had my brother over for dinner a little while ago, and I made dinner, and then without even doing anything, he just was cleaning it up and would clean up after himself. Has
an awareness.
I'm going to leave a place cleaner than I got there.
Right.
And I'm learning that this is something you either have or you don't have. And I think that study might have people who get together who both have these things.
Yeah, that's a good point. Who you're attracted to in the first
cleaning
place.
up, right? Who are just cleaning up after. Because I broke up with the guy because he was messy.
Oh my God! Did you tell him
one
that?
of the reasons. No, and also it wasn't the reason, but it was just because you think in the same way I wouldn't be able to live with somebody who wanted to live in the city. Mm-hmm. Just different style.
Yeah.
Don't date that guy anymore either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was saying how when you do designated jobs that you could have a grass is greener thing where you think, oh, that person has the easy job. But it's because you never do it, so you don't know the drudgery of it.
Right.
And that if everybody's doing everything, you're more aware of what it takes to run a house and all the things that are involved. I don't know.
Yes.
It's food for thought.
The thing that is the trap I fall into is saying things like, oh, I love organizing.
Yeah, they said that about you. Not about you, but about people that do that. They think,
bad.
Well, some people don't mind doing X, Y, or Z. Bad.
Then the other person goes, well, you like doing that, so it's not a chore for you.
Yeah, it's a passion project. Right.
I will murder you.
Yes. Or I often heard, well, you're good at.
Oh, that's learned helpless. No, nope.
And it said that in the article. It said that, men will often use that as their line about parenting stuff. Well, she's better at bedtime. And
what do you think it was like her first time?
That's what it said. That if you keep trying, you can get better at it.
Yes, you
Fucking
can.
assholes.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Dahlia should put that article in the newsletter because I think a lot of people would love to know. And you know how you have that thing that you do when couples come into therapy and you have them say
Once
what chores that they...
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, this reminds me a lot of my Who Does What sticks. And
because it's not...
I need to use those. I haven't
fair.
had that problem come up in a while.
I'm surprised because I feel like it got worse during COVID.
Me too. Yeah.
Maybe women are just fucking giving up.
Or maybe these guys are stepping up to the plate. Who knows?
Let's wind it down.
Yeah. Oh my God, we talked about so much fun stuff today.
We really did, Sarah.
Talked about bicycles. Motorcycles.
Right. And cyclists.
And cyclists.
We found out that Sarah's prediction is that she will live to a very old age.
Oh, and R.I.P. the old woman at 119. We realized that maybe it's not the best thing to live to be.
There's a downside.
There's a downside.
For sure.
Uh-huh.
We learned about the Bitcoin trash story.
Oh. Fiasco.
What would your advice be? If that guy came in as your client, what would you say, how to get over that? That's things I can control, I can't control.
You know what I would do? I would have him watch the documentary on lottery winners.
Do you remember what that's called? I want to watch that. I am going to find that thing.
Yeah, it has something to do with Oh, I'll know it on
And I
here, but
also
no, I don't know
still
off
have
the
to
top of my
watch
head.
the bridge about people who take their life because I've heard.
Oh, that's fascinating.
That's amazing, even though
It's a really good one.
upsetting. Anyway,
Yeah.
we also talked about how Sarah is a junior.
Yeah, true.
Salty Rice Jr.
Salty Rice Jr. And so is Susie's sister, but accidentally.
Right. Weird.
An accidental junior.
And then, credit cards. I don't even know what that was. What did I talk about?
We were
with
saying that my grandma said the worst invention was credit cards.
Oh, yeah. Worst. I'm going to write that down. Worst invention. And then whatever. Chore splitting.
She says whatever. Like these weren't fascinating topics we got dove deep into.
Well, because I'm sort of like, they already know how great this episode was. They don't even need to tell them.
Good.
You guys should
leave
check
a
out
5-star review.
Yeah, check out our patreon.com/braincandy2. That's where our reality TV content lives.
You can even watch this.
Oh, yeah, you
like,
can watch
live.
this video.
Watch the video of us cracking up.
And
The most laughing in any episode ever.
our merch sales are down, Sarah.
What?
People-
but I have
I
so
don't
many
know.
good new designs.
I know, we need to, remind them of them
Well-
because they forgot.
It's so good. We have sneakers. We have sweatshirts, which we've all agreed. We had this discussion in our most recent book club meeting, that is the most comfortable sweatshirt there
Yeah, the
ever
one
was.
with our logo on it.
Even our friend Dawn, shout out to Dawn, got a white sweatshirt, even though she said she was prone to stains, and said it's been holding up just great.
Stains. Yeah, it is a winner. I said it's my
a winner.
go-to. Like anytime, when you look at all your hoodies and you're like, which one should I wear? And you're like, I gotta wear
Mine
that
too.
one. Yeah,
And it's oversized. Oh,
That's
I love
right.
it. Well, I got that. You can get it however you'd like it to fit.
leave us a review, subscribe. We love you. See you
Bye.
next time. Bye.